2 weeks ago, I seen a video of two Cuban bare-knuckle boxers speaking Spanish with bloody mouths. It had looked like they got into a fisticuff or some type of altercation. But one of them was Cuba's Gustavo Trujillo, who's the BKB, also known as bare-knuckle boxing champion. And the other was a Cuban by the name of Leonard Perdomo. Some of y'all know him as El Sambo. And he's with BKFC, also known as the Bare-Knuckle Fighting Championships. And I could see the intensity in the Spanish they were speaking with bloody mouths, they're showing their lips, doing all this. And I don't know what happened. But if anyone can tell me what happened, drop me a DM or drop that in the comments down below because I want to know. I want to know. But that also had my mind thinking, like, what would happen if BKB and BKFC were to co-promote a show and put the Police Gazette titles on the line for every fight that's on that card? What would happen? Who would win? And I was thinking to myself, it's a lot of fighters. I don't watch it all, but I watch a lot. And I was thinking to myself, who could I ask? And you know what? ChatGPT stepped up to help me. Yeah, good old ChatGPT. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what ChatGPT told me, right? So ChatGPT told me that at the heavyweight division, it would be Gustavo Trujillo facing off against Ben Rothwell. And ChatGPT is telling me that Ben Rothwell would win this fight because he's a proven name between the UFC and BKFC. He has experience and, the big guy, strong. And that would be the battle of the heavyweights. But here's the thing. I respect ChatGPT, but I'm going to respectfully disagree with you on this one. Gustavo Trujillo is 6'5". He can move. He carries a great jab. And that's because he trains with Luis King Kong Ortiz down in Miami. He also comes from a Greco-Roman wrestling background. And in Cuba, their Greco-Roman wrestling is one of the best programs worldwide. So Gustavo has had a chance to compete and see world-class competition and world-class opposition in that small country, Cuba. So yeah, I'm gonna ride with Gustavo on this. I've seen him fight before and he can really box his ass off, and I just don't see Ben Rothwell being able to push him around in there because Gustavo is well versed in Greco-Roman wrestling. Alright, so let's go to the next fight. Here's what ChatGPT told me. The next fight would be a cruiserweight heavyweight adjacent, a matchup between Martin Jack or Cub Swanson versus Chris Camozzi. So it's one of those two versus Chris Camozzi. And Chris Camozzi is the BKFC cruiserweight champion. And I believe Martin Jack and Cub Swanson are cruiserweight / heavyweight adjacent champions for BKB. And ChatGPT's telling me that Camozzi wins because Camozzi he has experience in pacing, durability, And this fight would be bragging rights for the cruiserweight division. And here's the thing, right? I know Cub Hawkins can fight. I know Marco can fight as well. I would lean towards the BKB side on this one, just a little bit. But at the same time, you know, I would love to see those matchups happen. I would love to see those matchups happen. Okay, so we got light heavyweight. ChatGPT's telling me that Barry Jones will be facing off against Josh Dyer, and it would be a close fight, but they would pick Dyer to win. And that's because Dyer's been battle tested in the BKFC. Granted, Jones might have more raw power, but I guess Dyer has a different type of pace that could stifle Jones, I guess. And this would be I guess I don't even know. It says I guess this would be a battle for upperweight supremacy. I'm not sure. Upper weight class. I'm not sure who wins the fight either. I gotta watch more of Barry Jones. Gotta check him out. The next fight would be between BKB's LT Nelson and BKFC's Dave Mendel at super middleweight or middleweight. And ChatGPT is picking LT Nelson. I guess because LT Nelson has a unique style. He can fight between two different weight classes and different ranges, and has power and adaptability that gives him the edge, I guess. He can control distance good. Mandela is short, so I'm not sure. This would be the king of the middleweights, but I'm not sure because Mandela can fight. I gotta watch more of LT Nelson, but Mandela can fight. He's short. He comes from a good team, Shit MMA. He has a great coach in Jihad Wingfield who's been doing his thing in the bare-knuckle space for a while. So I'm not sure if I truly agree with this, but I'm gonna go check out some LT Nelson action after this video. All right, so let's see what's next. What's next? We got super welterweight, and we got Javon Wright or Liam Reese versus Julian Lane. And ChatGPT is picking Julian Lane to win. I guess Julian Lane has name value, experience, has a pressure style of fighting, and I guess ChatGPT thinks that Julian Lane's pressure style of fighting would break down Wright and Reese, but I'm not sure. I'm not really sure on that. I have to check out some more Javon Wright and Liam Reese to assess what ChatGPT is telling me. Okay, so let's go to the super lightweight division, and we got Harry Gigliotti or Julio Tenori or Jared Grant versus Franco Tenaglia. I'm butchering names, from BKFC. And I think that ChatGPT is picking Gigliotti to win over Franco Tenaglia. Now, ChatGPT didn't mention anything about Julio Tenori or Jared Grant, so I guess we'll just do Harry Gigliotti versus Franco Tenaglia, and Gigliotti wins. That's what ChatGPT says, and that's because his speed and power and athleticism would be too much for Tenaglia, and this would be, the battle for the featherweights, I guess. but I don't see they're wrong on that. It means battle for the lightweights, not featherweights. So the next one would be Harold McQueen, featherweight Harold McQueen, the champion from BKB, versus the featherweight champion Kai Stewart from BKFC. And ChatGPT is picking Kai Stewart to win, and it's because Kai Stewart's young. He has a big frame. I've met him before. He's a big dude. He's physical. Yeah, he's an awkward style. Fights in both stances, and he's very unpredictable. Harold McQueen can box, but I'm not sure his size. I do know this. I do know that boxers tend to be smaller than their counterparts in the same weight classes. Like, the wrestling counterparts, the MMA counterparts. Those guys tend to be bigger. I think because of weight cutting. But in boxing, you don't want to risk cutting weight because it kind of weakens your chin. So it makes sense why they don't cut much weight. All right, so then we have Agnesa Kirakosian versus Christine Ferreira, and BKFC. I mean, why is he saying BKFC? ChatGPT is picking Christine Ferreira to win. ChatGPT tells me that Ferreira's dominance, experience, chin, fight IQ would give her the advantages over Kirakosian. Whatever. I'm butchering her name. Sorry about that. And yeah, it would be a big crossover, frontier crossover between both women. And then we have featherweight, lightweight champion Patty Juarez versus Jessica Borga, and ChatGPT is picking Jessica Borga. Slight edge. Jessica Borga is the current champion. She has experienced the pressure. I'm not really sure because I don't think she has experience over Patty Juarez, because Patty Juarez, she can box, and Helen Peralta can box as well. As a matter of fact, Helen Peralta holds a win over, I think she has a win over Christine Ferreira from many years ago. I could be wrong. Let me know. Fact check me. But Jessica Borga can box. Jessica Borga trains with Jihad Wingfield and Shift MMA. She's a big frame. I could be wrong. Let me know. Fact check me. But Jessica Borga can box. Jessica Borga trains with Jihad Wingfield and Shift MMA. She's a big frame. She's a monster right hand. If you don't believe me, go watch her knockout versus Hannah Rankin. And Hannah Rankin can box too. She's a proven professional boxer. So I don't know. I do know Patty Juarez is tough as nails, and Patty has good conditioning. So I'm not sure on this one, but I'm gonna go check out. Well, I gotta check that out because I've seen Patty Juarez fight. But Jessica Borga she's big. She's tall. She's big. She's tall. She has a big frame. She throws good straight punches. Patty Juarez's defense ain't that great, so I could see why ChatGPT is riding with Jessica Borga. But at the same time, Patty Juarez does have a lot of experience. All right, y'all. So that's ChatGPT's thoughts that I relayed to y'all. It's pretty interesting. If you like what you heard, leave a comment down below. Like my video. Subscribe to my channel.